What's up guys, the Strong Boys 19 here. This is going to be another tribute video once again. I did see a notification on YouTube as I was looking through other people's uploads. That's one of my favourites from Canada, Canadian Stud Muffin, shout out to him. He uploaded a new video, and as soon as I saw it, I wanted to join in. Today's video is going to be my dedication to another one of the classic members from one of my all-time favourite bands, the Moody Blues. John Lodge. He passed away today at the age of 82. I've always talked about the Moody Blues quite a lot whenever I decide to bring them up, because this band still remains as one of the most magical, beautiful, melodic and spectacular rock bands. And there were the obvious talks of calling the Moody Blues one of the early contemporary ones to grow a genre that is progressive rock. When you really think about it, the continuation of the Moody Blues with the legendary lineup, they did contribute to a lot of the work that has been involved in progressive rock. I know I've shown the records of what I've got from the Moody Blues in my collection, but I want to do it once again. It just goes to show that no matter how many times I would listen to the Moody Blues, their art, their messages, and the contributions of these musicians have made a big impact for my continuing journey for music. Days of Future Past. I've talked about this album in full length when I did my Classic Albums Revisited episode. This album is still one of the greatest albums ever made. A lot of people have talked about this album so endlessly, but with so many reasons. I have always cherished this album, and I am still doing that. Besides the other wonderful vocals from Justin Hayward to Ray Thomas and the other guys with their roles, to me, John's work for his vocals, his own sound, and with some of the writing that would later on become a continuation for this band's career, he deserves so much of the admiration. His bass work to some of the songs he wrote for the band have been incredible. This is a must-hear album. Even though some people don't see this as progressive rock, it's not like with the other bands of Yes and King Crimson and Pink Floyd later on when they went to progressive rock. But I still think there is some pieces of progressive rock sounds, especially with what the concept of this album is. The next album, In Search of the Lost Chord, to me this is kind of like a psychedelic sounding album in these numerous places. There's loads of the passion that continues to rise up, and John's role for this band truly meant something to a lot of people. His career lasted for 60 years, and that is brilliant. I didn't pay attention to his brief work as a solo artist. I know that Justin Hayward, one of the members, did help him out for the debut solo album for John, but I would still like to remember Lodge for being in this amazing band. This is another high favourite for me. It's a different sound, but their musicianship is still second to none. Here is one that I have more than a few copies of. On the Threshold of a Dream. What I really like is that if you buy the vinyl, it'll tell you if it's a mono or a stereo by showing you this. If you buy the mono, it's red. But if you buy the stereo, it's blue, as you can see right there. This is another wonderful album, excellent quality of songwriting, and one of the best things about the band is really the artwork. These are pieces of artwork that I could just stare at when I listen to this band's creative and as important sounds of music. Here is another one that deserves a lot more of the appreciation. A Question of Balance. John's writing for some of the later Moody Blues albums have been noticeable. There's the front, and if you flip it, that's the back. Their attention to detail for inspirations to the sound of the guitars, the bass from John's work, and the vocals, they are worth your investigation. A seriously underrated album. I love the artwork right there. Some of the later Moody Blues albums have their own personality, and that is another highlight about the band. To Our Children's Children's Children, I love this album very, very much, and it is one of those other soft and cozy and strong sounding album that has a vibe. The vocals have been the other amazing, touching part of what the Moody Blues had achieved. And John's voice, through a lot of the band's music, is so sweet. It's delicate, and it really does mean a lot to me to listen to the other members with their own roles. And John's role for this band is simply as sublime. A sublime band. The next album, Every Good Boy Deserves Favour. Another really underrated album. And I also enjoy the different feel of the packaging. It's like not really rough, but it's kind of like a separate design choice. The next album and final one I've got from the band on CD and on vinyl for now, Seventh Sojourn. This is another fantastic album, and their music deserves loads of fans. I know I've mentioned about the other progressive rock bands, but if you guys have not listened to the Moody Blues before, never heard of them at all, besides hearing like the obvious singles like with Tuesday Afternoon and Nights in White Satin from Days of Future Past, you're missing out, because there's loads of presentation, there's loads of bigger art than just to think about one album. I really like this album so much too. Another high favourite. The minimal looking artwork really sets the mood. John was a musician that was a personality that brought a lot of heart. And my heart goes out to his friends, his family, to the band and the fans. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching, and I will keep you guys posted for more videos in the near future.